Welcome to Crypto Moon Hunters, the only crypto podcast bringing you the latest projects across the industry. Cryptocurrencies discussed in this podcast are highly speculative and ultra high risk. Never invest more than you can comfortably afford to lose. Any information discussed in this podcast should not be considered financial advice and is provided for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Seriously, these guys are idiots. And now here are your hosts, professionals of buying high and selling low.
Welcome to Crypto Moon Hunters. I am Hate Mail. With me today we have Loot.
Hey guys.
Dookie Jones.
Hello.
We have Lady Ninja.
Hi.
And we have a special guest from DX Sale, Grandmaster Chung.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
And Dookie and Lady Ninja are founders of Equity, if you remember her from an earlier episode. So we will get into their new pre-sale launch on Polygon, which we're very excited about. And then we're going to talk about some just general crypto news, because there has been a whole lot since our last episode. But before we get into that, we just want to say to our audience, we apologize. We haven't had an episode in quite a while. I had a little bit of a health issue I had to deal with, and we decided we were going to retool the show a little bit. We'll talk about that in next week's episode, or not next week, the week after's episode, which we will be doing on crypto taxes, so stay tuned for that.
We're doing the tax episode.
Yeah, we want to get that out
happen
before tax season ends in the U.S. It will mostly be U.S. focused, so if you're not in the U.S., those rules will probably not apply to you, but we'll see if we can do a little bit of high-level stuff for outside the U.S. as well. But let's get into the Polygon pre-sale launch. Dookie, if you want to just kind of give us a little bit of what this coin, how is it different from the Binance version, and what was the reason for launching the Polygon version?
So the Polygon version is different from the Binance Smart Chain side in the tax structure. Otherwise, it's identical. You still receive reflections. You can pick any token that you want that has the correct trading pair. So on Polygon, that would be a Polygon trading pair. We still pay for the project all through reflections, team and marketing. We do not hold tokens on the Polygon side, and so the tax structure is the kind of the main difference there, and it's a little bit complicated, so I'll explain that. Users are able to choose the tax that they want to pay and the reflection amount that they want to receive on the Polygon side. We had quite a bit of kickback from folks who said that they absolutely loved the high tax on the BSC side because the reflections were so juicy. And then we had almost exactly the same number of people telling us that the tax was too high. So we figured give everybody exactly what they want and just let them pick. If you don't want to pay any reflections, you just want to day trade the token, you take 5% tax rate, you don't get any reflections, you're in, you're out, it's all on the price of the coin, you're done.
So at the 5% rate, just to clarify, do you get any rewards or at 5%?
No rewards.
No? Okay.
No rewards at all, period.
Gotcha.
That is the zero rewards. Take care of the day traders, the people who want the lowest tax possible that appeals to them.
The pump and dumpers. Come on.
Exactly. The pump and dumpers, the Jeets, whatever you want to call it. So 10% gets you reflections. That's our base rate right there. It's the default. If you just, buy through QuickSwap, that's the rate you'll pay if you don't set anything in the dashboard. 15% gets the base rate and a half, so 1.5x that. 20% gets double. 25% gets 2.5. Relatively straightforward and simple. There's just a lot of information to convey about it. Anything that you want to do with it as far as buying and selling goes, you can do on QuickSwap. It's just like PancakeSwap, so not a big deal. Everybody will know how to use it just from looking at it. There's the default tax rate stuff. So you're defaulting to 10%. If you change that and you have tokens that are not at 10%, instead of the 10% being what is bought or sold, it will be whatever the next lowest rate you have is. So if it's 15%, then you'll sell 15%.
Now, let me ask you a question for the audience. If you have one wallet, can you have multiple tax rates in that same wallet?
Yes, you can. If you choose to have multiple tax rates in the same wallet, you're best method of interacting with the token is going to be through our dashboard. You'll be able to buy and sell and transfer and do whatever you want and select the tokens that match the tax rate you wish to interact with at that time. So like, if you wanted to transfer all of your 5% tax rate tokens to a buddy of yours to pay a bill, you could just go to the dashboard and select the 5% tokens and transfer those over, and it won't be an issue.
So in the dashboard, you can tell which tokens are at which tax rate.
Yes, it's not a thing where it's like, token 1, 2, and 3 is at tax rate 5%. It'll just say you have X amount at X tax rate.
Gotcha.
So if you want, let's say you're done in the project, you want to sell out and get rid of everything. So you can go to the dashboard and sell all of the different tax rates you have at one time in one transaction versus going to QuickSwap. You would have, if you had, one of each tax rate, you would have to make one sell to get rid of each tax rate.
That's interesting. Complicated, but interesting.
It is, and that's why we put so much work into the dashboard on the buying and selling side of it.
Yeah, your dashboard's done really well. I'm real impressed with that. I wasn't when I first was setting up my own tax rate and trying to figure it out. I was like, this seems almost too easy, and I felt like I was doing something wrong.
It's very easy to use.
It's really nothing to it. I mean, you put the right number in the right box and you push the button.
So I have a question. Once the coin goes live, right, and it's like open season, if I were buying on QuickSwap, is there a way to adjust the tax rate?
Yes, so you go to the dashboard and you set a tax rate, and that will be your default rate from there on out.
Now, do you have to do that before you purchase, or can it be done after?
Yes. Changes to the tax rate must occur before the tokens are in your wallet. So before you buy them. If you have, let's say you have 2 wallets and you want to send from one wallet to the other. Well, you can do that, but you cannot change the tax rate after you do that. So the tokens that you bought will be locked to that tax rate until they go back into the liquidity pool.
Gotcha. So you had an AMA earlier today that really got into the weeds of a lot of this stuff. Where can listeners find that? Because we don't want to rehash too much of the same information that you just went over.
That AMA will be published on our YouTube channel before this is live.
Okay, so I will post the link in the show notes. So if you want to listen to AMA, he goes into tremendous detail on all of that information. We didn't want to spend too much time on this episode talking through that because a lot of other topics we wanted to get into, and one of that will be kind of what your the marketing plans are, and then we also wanted to get into some of the crypto news because there's a lot of, unfortunately, the timing of the Polygon launch, which I'd say we're off to a pretty good start. We're over halfway to the soft cap, and usually when soft cap hits, it's on DX sale, which Grandmaster Chung can kind of get into a little bit. Generally, is that what you're seeing, Chung, when you hit the soft cap? It's kind of all downhill from there?
That's a tough question, man, because sometimes it's about momentum, right? And sometimes people get like lots of investors in a whitelist, but the amount they give is really small. So sometimes you have like these loyal investors, but they don't have as much funds, right? But then when other people sees it on the website, they usually will contribute. But right now it's hard for all pre-sales overall, right? So I wouldn't say it's downhill, but it's definitely easier than if you don't hit.
Yeah, and I would say that that's a caveat because you see some of them, they set the soft cap at like 1 token, and but then the hard cap is significantly higher. So I would say if it's a well done, but you're right. I was going through the site. We kind of talked about this before the show started a little bit. The site, it definitely seems like it's with everything going on in the world. The Ukraine war is having major headwinds on crypto, and just any time. And for those of you not aware, I work in big finance, so I've been in banking for over 20 years. So I'm pretty financially, I've seen the ups and downs of a lot of markets, and speculative assets, which crypto unfortunately is considered a speculative asset still. Even granddaddy Bitcoin is considered a speculative asset. So the newer coins, this is basically, if you were to compare it to equities, normal stocks, this is kind of like the pink sheets, or the coins that you're not, they're the most speculative of the speculative. So they're gonna struggle a little bit in a down market. So the fact that we've raised over 50,000 in the pre-sale already on equity is, I would say, pretty good start considering everything that's going on in the markets. And then we did have, the day before yesterday in the U.S., the Biden administration announced an executive order basically creating a task force to look into cryptocurrencies. That task force, initially we saw kind of a bounce. The markets had a little bit of a...
Yeah, they were like excited.
Yeah, the markets were excited in crypto. The initial thought was that the sound of the executive, when you read out what the executive order said, it sounded like it was going to be a little softer than people kind of expected. But then yesterday and today, we were seeing it, well, not yesterday, last night and today, we've been seeing it go reverse. Now, the crypto markets have lately been following the stock market, so you kind of see if the crypto markets are down, the stock market's down in the morning, because it's people are kind of following the futures. But crypto, I think, specifically was down because some of the new verbiage that you've been hearing from some of the administration officials is that we think they might be regulating harder than we would like in the crypto community, because it's... a lot of the talk has been that Russia is moving huge amounts of crypto to skirt around sanctions, which I was reading some of the reports from some of the crypto news articles, and most people don't think that's true. Crypto as a whole isn't built out enough to take on institutional governmental level funding to be moved around. It's just it's not feasible, and you would see massive volume in the different crypto
I
markets.
really
like
don't
obvious
see
to
that
see it.
happening at all.
No.
So for Russia to really put anything into the crypto market so that they could move money around, the value of the currency that they are putting into it needs to exist. And right now, the ruble, as far as value goes, does not exist.
Well,
It has no value.
what the regulators are saying is that they've been moving money into crypto for the last 2 years, which maybe they have moved
Yes.
some, but
They haven't moved enough to offset the economic impact that's happening right now.
yeah. So I think
If they had, we'd all be rich.
so. What a lot of people are believing is that the Biden administration is using this as a reason to come down hard on crypto, because the Fed wants to create digital currency, kind of like what China has recently done with basically outlawing crypto so that they can have their digital yuan. There's a lot of speculation that the U.S. wants to do the same thing, and the Russia war is a good excuse to crack down hard on crypto. So, that is speculation on the part of a lot of people who are very worried. They may or may not do that. It's going to be 6 months before we know what kind of rules are coming out. But right now, that is adding FUD to the market on top of a lot of other legitimate FUD with high energy prices, possible recession. The Federal Reserve was originally going to rate. Everyone assumed they'd raise it, by 2 basis points, or half a basis point, excuse me, this March. Now they're probably only going to do, 0.25%. That's not going to be enough to slow down inflation. So they're going to have to let inflation just ride high, because if they raise rates too fast, they could send us into a recession, which is possibly likely anyway. So it's definitely, financial markets as a whole are going to be, nobody really knows what's next and what's going to happen. There's so much uncertainty, which leads people to be afraid to invest funds in really anything at the moment. So it's it's tough.
And it seems to me that this is exactly what Putin wants with this.
Sounds wonderful.
I'm personally in the camp of people who thinks that Putin doesn't survive this.
To be fair, though, we don't really know what's going on behind, right? You never know what's behind these kind of movements, I think. Because some people, I think this was a desperate maneuver, but I think I mean, Putin is a smart man, right? He might not be, we might not like him, but he's a smart man, right? I think he thought it was the best option for the country, because Russian economy has been going down since years from now because they don't really have the best economic activities, and I think they want the resources in that part of Ukraine, and they charge really high taxes to move natural gas, which was, I think, one of the main reasons for the invasion is to finally explode that gas reserves that Ukraine was going to start doing, because one of the biggest, Russian economic activities is exporting gases and oil and stuff. So I don't think we can totally speculate on what's going on. I think he did find more resistance than he thought he would find. But yeah, I'm not sure this is over for Russia yet.
Well, and the other thing is that you look at North Korea, you look at Venezuela, you look at Cuba. You would have thought that those dictators would have been taken out eons ago, and they somehow keep trudging along. So
yeah, I agree. Well, I'm depressed now.
Yeah. So let's circle this back to crypto, because I'm sure everybody's sick of hearing about Russia, Ukraine, on every other channel. Lady Ninja, before you fall asleep, what do you think the crypto markets are looking like over the next short period of time, next month, 2 months?
In my opinion, as a day trader, in a short term, the markets definitely look very bearish, even though I'm a bull myself. But let us be realistic. Markets look definitely bearish, and there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of pessimism. Everything seems to be turning around the war between Russia and Ukraine, which is understandable. However, there is one thing that I still do not understand. When there's a lot of fear, people just don't seem to buy more crypto at a discount. That's why I finally understand why only a minority makes a lot of money and the majority doesn't. For example, when I see markets tanking, or when a lot of people are becoming more pessimistic than before, this is normally where I personally get greedy. I don't know why, but I normally do not follow the market sentiment. I mean, for example, if people are in extreme euphoria, that's when I get really scared and I kind of retrace myself from the market. But when people are extremely fearful or they're thinking about their own survival or something, that's when I get extremely greedy, and that's when I actually want to ape in more. Like, I want to buy more crypto. Like, for example, I've been buying a lot of Matic. Yeah, of course, Matic. And also a lot of Luna. Luna is one of my current favorite altcoins that actually has been performing really well.
Yeah, Luna's the only thing up right now. Everything else is down 46%. Luna's up 2.
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy with Luna. And I have been also trading Luna with some leverage on it. And it has been going pretty well, but I'm very bullish with Luna. At least one of my bags is very bullish compared to, to the rest of my bags, which are kind of going crabbish, if not bearish or bullish. They're going crabbish, like they're trading sideways a little bit. But definitely, when 99% of the tokens or coins are tanking or going crabbish, you always have one or two that are going really bullish. And at this precise moment, it's definitely Luna. And I'm very bullish with Luna. I see a bright future for the Luna token and the Terra project, which is, of course, part of the Luna ecosystem. I really like the project. I've been actually following what they're doing. And very honestly, I see Luna/Terra growing pretty fast. I definitely see this project doing pretty well, let's say, not only in the short term, but definitely, let's say, within the next 5-10 years. I'm sure they will survive. Let's say they will live really long. And I do believe that Luna might be sort of like the next Ethereum, like an alternative to the Ethereum ecosystem as well. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but this is what I feel about Luna overall.
Yeah, I own a little bit. I didn't buy as much. I went pretty heavy into Phantom, which is down like 30% in the last week. But I did buy a fair amount of Terra Luna. I do think they're really strong, good. I'm kind of surprised that the big challengers to Ethereum was Solana and Avalanche, and both of those have really retreated big time in the last little while. So Luna's passed Solana and Avalanche actually by a pretty
Yeah,
wide
that's
margin
true.
now.
I like both Solana and AVAX, but currently my favorite one is definitely Luna. Don't ask me why, but I just love Luna.
Yeah, it's a great project. On to let's get back to Polygon equity a little bit. What do we expect? We have the pre-sale going on right now. Anything you have planned or anything that you can share with the audience that might help get this pre-sale to the finish line?
From my side, I have been tweeting a lot. I've been spreading the message on social media. Not to mention that I kind of upgraded my career as a marketer and also as an influencer. I have my own Telegram calls channel, and it has been growing faster than I expected. Um, and my audience is 100% human, no bots, nothing. I hate bots. And I've been noticing that whenever I make a call about one or two coins or tokens, I see a lot of my audience investing in the coins that I promote. Of course, I never give financial advice. I always tell them to do their own research, because, well, even though I always make my research about each token that I promote, you can still never know if some of them might be rugged or whatever, no matter how knowledgeable you are. But we always have to be careful. That's why I always tell the audience to be really careful. Regarding equity, I've been actually working with some Chinese groups to promote about equity. It seemed like some Chinese investors have decided to go for the equities Polygon pre-sale. And I will definitely continue making several calls on equity Polygon, like doing a lot of business development, explaining to some investors the real benefits of equity Polygon's pre-sale, so that they finally understand the true value of passive income, but especially the new feature of equity Polygon, which is the user selectable tax. This is something that not everybody knows, and the more we educate potential investors, I'm sure that many of them will definitely buy the pre-sale. This is pretty much what I've been doing so far.
And we still have over 7 days, so if you're listening to this,
Exactly.
by the time you listen to this, there'll be still good 4 days left or more, so be sure to check it out. And
One more week left.
yeah, Dookie, any comments on the pre-sale, and then any other topics you all want to cover before we wrap this up?
No, we're just hoping to get that thing filled up all the way, and if not, that's okay too.
I think this is one of those ones I feel like as soon as we hit the soft cap, because that's kind of how the Binance one, and granted that was in a lot more bullish market, but as soon as it hit the soft cap, it was like 12 hours later it was full. So
it almost seems like a lot of people feel like they can lose their money if it doesn't hit the soft cap, so they won't invest in it until it hits the soft cap.
yeah, I
But,
don't know.
if it doesn't hit the soft cap, everybody gets their money back minus gas fee.
Yeah.
I mean, no big deal. Like, woo, you lost 4 cents.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. Well,
This is where people actually need to be educated, because I see that many of them don't even know what exactly happens if we don't even hit the soft cap. Like, nobody will lose any money. They will just lose a couple of cents for gas fees. That's it. No big
Well,
deal.
to be fair, there are people like my dad, my brother-in-law that I'm like, hey, you guys need to buy into this, and I have to walk them. They understand the basics of using Trust Wallet, but they don't really know how to do anything else. So
Yeah, so for anybody out there that's still using Trust Wallet, if you want to branch out into other chains besides Binance Smart Chain, the easiest way to do it is through SafePal Wallet. There's a little icon right on the bottom. It's 2 arrows. You click on that, and you can change any token into any other token. It's the Binance Bridge. Like, it's 15 minutes, and you have your whatever.
yeah, I got a SafePal hard wallet.
Yeah, it's there's a hard wallet and a soft wallet available for that. You do not need the hard wallet to use the soft wallet. You can just import the same seed phrase, so it's not like you have to worry about sending tokens over to a new wallet or anything, paying all that gas. But it's one of those game changers for you, kind of like the first time you started to use PooCoin to trade and that auto slippage. Yeah, yeah, SafePal's good. Anybody who hasn't checked it out should definitely check it out.
All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. We definitely appreciate you coming on. We hope and wish Equity Polygon a lot of success. And full disclosure, Lute and I are both investors, so we have vested interest in the success of Equity. And we appreciate you coming on too, Grandmaster Chung.
Anytime, man. I wish
good.
it was longer. I love this podcast. Well, at least right now I'm loving it, so hopefully I can be around for next time.
Yeah, if you have any projects on DXSale that you think would be a great one to talk about, we are always looking for content, so be sure to let us know.
You opened the Pandora's gate.
Yeah.
Box there, man. We have
We-
lots of things
Always
coming on.
opening doors.
And one thing
That's great.
we're telling our audience that we're trying to move away from the very speculative shitcoins that have failed us. So we want to make sure that we have the great coins. So make sure they're good ones, Chung, that you feel confident about. Just say that.
Okay, to be
But-
fair, we're not launching more coins. It's just the X products. They don't get any tokens, so there's just like crypto products and stuff. So yeah, I would love to talk about that.
Yeah,
anytime
absolutely.
Great.
We would love to have it on. So appreciate y'all coming on, and all the information for the Equity Presale you'll find in the show notes. So be sure to check that out. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for having.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Crypto Moonhunters. If you like the show, consider becoming a Patreon and get special perks. Just go to patreon.com/cryptomoonhunters. You can also tip your host by donating to our wallets. Just see the address in the show notes. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave comments on whatever platform you listen to.